Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable.
Couple minutes not a score. Every time they wanna clash, the winners kicking through the door. I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stock, and we're running out the clock. I fail once, never stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah.
Kick back, relax, and get your Sunday dose of British basketball. First up is Plymouth against the Sheffield Sharks. They travelled from Surrey last night, and the Patriots have already played against the Manchester Giants this weekend. And there's no rest for our commentary team of Josh Bett and Surrey head coach Lloyd Gardner.
Thank you very much, Jeanette, and welcome British Basketball League fans here to the Plymouth Pavilions. Tonight's British Basketball League matchup between the Plymouth City Patriots and the Sheffield Sharks. Well, hello, basketball fans. Welcome. I am Josh Bett, your commentator, alongside head coach of the Surrey Scorchers, Lloyd Gardner. Lloyd, we're in for a big showdown tonight.
Yeah, battle of tempo today. Sheffield coming off a tough game, tough journey to Plymouth after playing last night against the Plymouth team. Loves to run and get out in the open floor.
Well, the Plymouth City Patriots, they need a big victory, and let's take a look at their starting lineups for this big game. No doubt, of course, we're going to be seeing Jacob Wiley, a big name, of course, for this team, alongside Taylor Johnson, with the support of veteran player LVC Dusha. Mason Faulkner are also playing the backcourt, but this needs to be a very big game here tonight in front of their home crowd, in front of a very, very passionate Plymouth City Patriots fan base. Well, the visitors, on the other hand, Sheffield Sharks, after losing their opening game against the Newcastle Eagles, have won their last two games. No doubt, of course, Devell Ramsey along with Jalen Pipkins, they will be leading the way, of course, for the Sharks. Well, Coach, now we're going to take a look at some of the key players in this game. And, you know, one player we have to talk about is Jacob Wiley.
Yeah, Jacob Wiley is going to be an important piece for Plymouth today. You know, Sheffield have a big front line. A couple of guys can really score. He's more of a face-up finesse guy, so it'll be interesting to see who comes on top in that battle.
Well, the counterpart, of course, for the Sheffield Sharks, Jalen Pipkins. I mean, he has been a phenomenal talent for this Sharks team.
Yeah, Pipkins has really become the leader for Sheffield. Joined them midway through last year. You know, big-time scorer, exceptional in the mid-range.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, get set for this epic showdown between the Sheffield Sharks and the Plymouth City Patriots. But, you know, no doubt, of course, these two teams will want to get a good victory here tonight. Plymouth definitely need the victory more so than the Sharks. They have yet to have won so far this season. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break momentarily as we will be back for this big game here in the British Basketball League.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, it's reachable. Your some heights achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable.
I am unbeatable. Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win. Can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. I've seen this in 2 decades.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
Can you believe it?
We are British basketball.
Welcome back, Basel fans. There's head coach of the Sheffield Sharks, the team of Lions, and again, a man who definitely wants to go the last 3 games undefeated after their opening game disappointment against the Newcastle Eagles. You know, Lloyd, he is definitely one of the more experienced coaches here in the British Basketball League. Yeah, well, Atiba always has his teams defensively super organized. You know, they know exactly what they're doing. Very few breakdowns on that defensive end. That's always, you know, the tendency for his teams. Expect to see that here today as well. Well, there is one of our officials, Gavin Williams, a member of the Welsh Basketball Federation. And again, we're very proud to say that we have some of the finest officials here in British Basketball League officiating, and they've done an excellent job in all of our games, and they'll continue to do so for this epic showdown between the Plymouth City Patriots and the Sheffield Sharks. Of course, you know, not to bring up any bad, sort of feelings at the moment, but, you and the Plymouth City Patriots, both teams, you haven't won so far in the British Basketball League. What is the mindset coming into a game in front of your home crowd at the moment? Well, I think that, it's early season. It's early stages for Plymouth. They'll be disappointed with the result for them against Manchester last time out. And that's going to be a key. How will they bounce back against that? That's going to be, the question for them. For Sheffield, the biggest thing for me is obviously they played, 24 hours ago in Surrey. They've had the journey. They've had an overnight stay. It's a tough turnaround, and Plymouth is a really difficult venue to play at. It will be the Patriots who get the first possession. Elvisi Dusha currently in the backcourt. Well, Plymouth need to set the tempo very early on here, giving over 80 points per game for their opponents. While the Sharks defensively a little bit more tight and organized, but a turnover already. And again, not good signs there from the Patriots. And that's what we said, coming in. Tempo is going to be important for this. Not only in the speed of play going up and down, but just the speed of the offense in the half court for Plymouth. They want to get the ball moving. They want to play free. Sheffield are very good at slowing you down and stopping you from doing that. Well, the Sharks have been good so far on the road. Finding Rotino off the back door, pump fakes, goes up and finishes with ease inside the paint. Well, that's not the start you want for Plymouth. Break down defensively. 2 guys didn't know if they were switching or not. Rotino gets a really easy one. Well, Plymouth, it's about finding that balance, but also that belief. Taylor Johnson, as we mentioned, becoming one of the most infamous faces in the NBL, but now making the jump here to the British Basketball League. Ball taking a slight deflection, goes out of bounds. That will be a Patriots ball on the sideline. Yeah, locked in start defensively from Sheffield. For Plymouth, it's a small lineup for them. 4 guards essentially with Wiley, so they've got to try and find some room to put the ball on the floor. They've got to try and find a way to break this Sheffield defense down. LVC going for a fadeaway again. Dusha getting the home crowd into the game, and a former player that you used to coach actually. Yeah, and he's an engine. LVC, when he's on the floor, crowd love him, teammates love him. He's a guy that's got to get Plymouth going. Sharks trying to get into the half-court set now. Moving the ball, trying to get everybody involved. Going for a 3-pointer off the ball screen and sinking that one early. And again, if Sheffield get going early, this could be a problem for Plymouth. Well, that's the danger. When Pipkins is so good in mid-range, you want to try and take him away from that. When he starts hitting the 3-ball, it can be a big night for him. Well, Plymouth get a wide open look to the perimeter. They try a 3-pointer, unable to respond to it. Ramsey secures the rebound. Their shots Plymouth have to make. You said it's a perimeter-based offense. They need to make their open looks. Adequate pump fake, and looking like a baby Hakeem Olajuwon. And again, coach, you've got to love the footwork on that one. Yeah, he's such a solid addition to Sheffield. Is Adequate, both ends of the floor. Really fits their mold nicely. Again, it's a breakdown from Plymouth defensively, though. You can't take a fake. You've got to make him finish over the top. That's 2 already in the opening 2 minutes for them. Well, can Plymouth find the balance here? Can he get something going? Atwood has to put up a tough one. Going for an offensive rebound. Watley goes in the reverse slip. That's a much better response, but second chance points could be something Plymouth live and die by in this game, coach. No, Plymouth had a big night on the boards against Manchester. They picked up 18 offensive rebounds in that game, and offense has been a struggle for them in the opening couple of minutes, so those little freebies, so important. Sharks leading by a slender 3 points here early on. DeVoe Ramsey getting a ball reversal. Another penetration going all the way. No help side defense, but just losing control of the ball and unable to convert that. But can Plymouth get something here quick? Johnson now. Again, both teams trying to find some space here. Goes to the step back. 3 is up. Again, no good. 2 looks there from the Patriots. Yeah, pretty good offense there, though, from Plymouth. A bit more in the open floor because they got the defensive stop. That's why it's so important. They can then start to run and have that loose game that they want. Well, Sharks coming out with a lot of confidence, and at the moment hitting it from the mid-range. Nice little move there from their offense.
That's what we saw. You know, Pipkins had a big game against Cheshire, and he hit a couple of threes early, got a nice clean look in the early stages. And when he gets an early one from the outside, kind of really seems to get him going.
Dusha trying to make a penetration, but struggling to break down the Sharks defense. Remember, this is a team that only gives just over 72 points away for their opponents. And again, Plymouth struggling with their half-court sets.
Yeah, it's exceptional defense from Sheffield in early stages here. Really impressive beginning.
Well, Ratinho goes for a wide-open look. That one goes, no. Adequate fighting for the offensive ball, but unable to secure it. So will be a Plymouth City Patriots possession. You know, going from that opening defeat that they had on the road in Newcastle, you know, games that they've had so far, they have looked a lot more cohesive, the Sharks, on both ends of the floor. I mean, we talk about a team, as I said, only gives away 72 points away for their opponents.
Yeah, you know, Sheffield are known for that defensive prowess. You know, the big things for us talking about the game yesterday is they don't have breakdowns, as we see from Plymouth in the early stages. They don't make those little mistakes to give you cheap points against them. You can see how hard Plymouth have got to work for that. You know, nearly a turnover. Luckily, Taylor Johnson in the right place, but it's so hard to get easy points against them.
Well, TJ made the backdoor layup, but can the Patriots come up with a stop now? Again, a bit too much time and space. Another wide open look. The Sharks are able to secure the loose ball. Ramsey top of the key, goes back to Allen. Makes a contact, no foul called. That's going to remain Sharks ball on the baseline with 7 seconds left here on the shot clock.
Good stand from Plymouth. Now they've got to finish the possession, rebound it, look to run in transition. That's the key for them. You can see LVC, the leader, talking to his team.
Sharks have to get something going quick here. Adekoya, the former Leicester Rider, kicks out to Ramsey. Ramsey pulls up off the dribble. That's way off the mark. Well, Plymouth can potentially cut the deficit down to 1 point, maybe tie up the game if they go for a three-pointer. Johnson now top of the lane here, draws a foul. Foul is going to be on the ground, but again, you know, for them it's about finding that identity in their offense, trying to assert themselves and really play together.
I think they found their feet. You know, first couple of possessions, Sheffield just, you know, had the team on lockdown. They were really controlled on the defensive end. Plymouth had now sort of found their rhythm. We said maybe that was the frustration of that game against Manchester. They know it's a big one here for them today, playing a team that's playing a back-to-back. Great opportunity for them to get off the mark.
Well, going for the tough step-back three-pointer. Time winding down, but again, Plymouth really struggling from the perimeter. Sharks pulling up for the mid-range, trying to go for the quick transition point. Can't capitalize. Well, trying to go all the way, draws into a bit of contact, but he'll go to the free throw line here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a small break, and we'll be back momentarily.
Everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain. Anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, it's reachable. Your silver heights achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable.
I am unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out of clock. I fail once then I stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest, I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in, go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop, take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans. If you are currently watching us live on the YouTube stream, please make sure you hit that like button, but also subscribe to the British Basketball League on YouTube and all other social media platforms. And also, if you would like a shout out, let us know your name, which team you're supporting, and where are you watching currently in the world. Remember, we're live on the British Basketball League live YouTube platform. Coach, right now, you know, we talk about the offense of the Plymouth City Patriots, but what are some ways that they can try to settle into this game and play with a little bit more confidence and be a little bit more cohesive?
Well, it starts on the defensive end. You've got to get stops. Stops often, turnovers, rebounds, allows you to get into that open floor. We said this is a small lineup for Plymouth. Sheffield have gone to their big lineup. Adekoya and Cook at the same time now. RJ Aitorok into the game as well. So big lineup for Sheffield. This could be the advantage for Plymouth. Can they now space the floor? Can they get some dribble penetration? The other side, Sheffield will be looking to go to the interior. They'll be looking to get Cook some touches right now.
Well, Sheffield trying to get something going down low here with Adekoya. Going for the cross-court pass. Cook here in the paint, just subbing into the game. Maybe getting away with a 3-second violation, but Ramsey now has to pull up for the tough fadeaway. Again, unable to convert. Well, Johnson going for a quick three. Again, it's 0 for 4 from the perimeter.
That's going to be the matchup, though. Johnson gets a good look at it. He's an excellent shooter from the outside. It's a tough matchup for Cook to try and get out to him.
Ramsey pick and pop now. Cook, pump fakes. Again, I'd like to see him throw that one down here, just kind of silence the crowd. But at the moment, the home crowd, a bit of anxiety you can feel from them.
2 is 2. 2 is 2. Cook will take it. Good finish from him. That's the battle that we're talking about. Cook on the inside one end, and then he's getting stretched out on the other end down here defensively.
Well, another foul is going to be called here against the Sheffield Sharks. And I believe this one's going to be on the ground. That's going to be the 13th, I believe. That's the second team foul, excuse me, my apologies. Oh, no, they called it, no. So they're going to call this in the process of shooting. So, Lloyd, do you want to break that one down for the fans at home?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. It looked like Cook was just trying to take away the space. Bumping the cutter, called for the personal foul. So it's going to put Atwood at the line here for 2. And again, we talked about easy points. This is a way for Plymouth to get into the game. They haven't really got that scoreboard moving over. This is the game, the style that Sheffield like, where they're very good at winning these sort of low-scoring games. So freebies from the line can be something that gets you going. Especially a guy like Atwood, it's his first point. He's 0 of 3 from the field. So now gets a couple of points, sees the ball go in the basket. Now he can get some momentum for the next offense.
These two teams locked in here with just over 3.5 in the first quarter. Remember, Plymouth City Patriots yet to get a victory this season in the British Basketball League. Adekoya almost turning it over. Sharks going for another three-pointer, converting it from downtown. And Aitorok, no problem for the perimeter.
Yeah, well, RJ, he passed one up earlier. Had the opportunity to take the 3, probably should have. And Sheffield ended up getting a tough shot in low clock. Better that time, just caught it and shot it in rhythm. And like we said, Faulkner now starting to find that range, starting to find that penetration.
Well, he was big in their game against Leicester Riders. Unfortunately, the Plymouth City Patriots were unable to leave with a victory. But, he could be a big X factor this season in the British Basketball League.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. I think he'll turn out to be arguably the leading scorer for this Plymouth team.
Ramsey now trying to go give and go, but a kick ball violation is going to be called there. The Sharks currently leading 14-12 against the Plymouth City Patriots. Under 3 minutes here in the first quarter. So it will be a fresh 14 on the shot clock here for the Sheffield Sharks. Trying to go down to Bennett Cook. Thinking about his options here for the one-on-one, but a traveling violation called against the big man, and that's a tough call against Bennett Cook.
Yeah, I couldn't see it very well on our angle. But we said that's the battle. Sheffield, they get a lot of touches in the post up, especially for Cook. He's very efficient usually in that low post area. Obviously, Plymouth being a slightly smaller team, be interesting to see how they guard him.
Jules Dengakoto featured for Great Britain at the 2017 FIBA Eurobasket, subbing into the game for the City Patriots. Johnson now going down the middle. Johnson going all the way, no foul calls. Goes out of bounds now, will remain Plymouth ball deep in the sideline.
just this typical Sheffield possession. Slow you down at the beginning, make it difficult for you to start your offense, get you really into that low clock late on, where they're able to challenge shots. They kind of force you to take tough ones to beat them. Good work from Plymouth on the offensive glass to keep it alive, though.
So sideline possession, but now Joe Hart checking into the game for the Plymouth City Patriots, having a tough year last year, bouncing back from injury, but you know, a veteran player in British Basketball League, also featured for the Newcastle Eagles.
Great to see Joe Hart back on the floor after sitting out last year. And this is what he does. He's a floor spacer when he gets going for Plymouth.
Well, battling for offensive boards now, trying to fight his way in the round, but maybe getting away with a few steps there. But in the end, it's an +1 for the big fella. But I think maybe just having a bit of a journey inside the paint, coach.
Yeah, just great work though from Atwood. And we said Plymouth against Manchester, that's what they did. When your offense is suffering, what can you do to get that momentum? Great work on the boards. Yeah, 27 steps in there, and then Cook gets called for a tough one, but you're rewarded with effort though. And that's the thing for Atwood. You know, he did everything he could. He fought hard for the ball and finished it off, so credit to him.
Well, take the travel card inside the paint because you will get the +1, but at the moment, we'd like to give a shout out to the Sheffield Sharks junior under-12s team who defeated North Hat Storm today. Congratulations to the junior Sheffield Sharks, and maybe one day, coach, we'll see those players represent their team here in Yorkshire.
Big thing is that's the second foul on Cook as well, so he's had to go out. And Adekoya, you know, he had a quick 30-second break there. He's had to come straight back in now.
Well, Adekoya looking for an isolation here in the post, trying to back down here. Twisting, turning again, had a good move, but wasn't able to finish it. You like to see that there by Dribble Adekoya. Well, the legal screen is going to be called against Joe Hart. You know, your team was the victim of this yesterday, setting those illegal screens at crucial moments that kind of almost cost you the game against Sheffield. But you know, it's really tough. I mean, how do you say to your players to set a screen without getting called for a foul?
Thanks for that reminder, Josh. You know, I think that was an unfortunate one. It was just a miscommunication between Joe Hart, and I'm not sure who it was that had the ball. You know, it might have been Faulkner, but Joe Hart was almost trying to run past the man, ended up going into the defender, just an incidental contact. So frustrating for him. You know, a cheap possession to give away.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching us live on the British Basketball YouTube platform, please can you hit that like button and also subscribe to the British Basketball League on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all other social media platforms. So please hit that like button, as at the moment, the Plymouth City Patriots, they will get the ball back.
Wow, Faulkner draws the foul against Ramsey, who was trying to seal off position. Gets called for the offensive. Ramsey's a guy they need on the floor. He's an effective player in the backcourt. And him and Pipkins have been the offensive, the go-to guys for Sheffield in these first few games.
Plymouth trying to build the momentum here. Currently leading by a slender 1 point. Trying to go for the isolation, spinning, twisting. Again, turning it right back over. No, fighting on the floor, but it's going to be a foul here.
Shot clock.
Oh, shot clock violation. Yeah, you're right.
Great defense again from Sheffield. And if we see a replay, you know, the offense turns, I think it was Faulkner, turns to the baseline, rotation from Adekoya, just right there immediately to stop the layup, and they just collapse on you in the paint, knowing, look, here see Pipkins, who's Atwood. Look at, it's RJ Eitelrock, apologies, former player of mine, and I can't identify him, but great defense from RJ, great defense from Sheffield to clamp in on the paint with the shot clock getting low as well.
Sharks looking to regain the lead. Nice give and go under the lane again. Too easy here for the Sharks.
Great work. Pipkins is such a tough matchup. He's quick, he's athletic. We said what an exceptional guy he is in that mid-range as well.
Well, that could potentially be a 2-for-1 for the Sharks, but they have to get a stop here on defense. Well, the deep shot is up again. Patriots unable to get things going for the perimeter. Goes out of bounds, but it will remain their ball on the baseline with 27 seconds left. It will be a fresh 14 for Plymouth.
4 offensive rebounds for Plymouth in this quarter. That can be something that frustrates Coach Lyons. I'm sure at the end of this quarter, he'll be talking about that one.
Trying to get the ball inbound, just able to avoid the 5-second violation. Faulkner trying to execute the pick-and-roll action here with Johnson. Has to force him a tough one. A silly foul given away by dribble out of course. It's going to be 3 shots coming up for Faulkner.
Yeah, it's a bad foul. Usually he's such a good defender, and he's got really quick hands. Adekoya, I think he just saw it there. But on that occasion, got the arm. So he's given up 3 shots, and we said Cook has already gone out with fouls as well. So they won't want to get Adekoya and Cook in foul trouble. That will really change the dynamic for Sheffield, who, you know, like to play those two together for a long period of time as well. If they both have to be out, that could be the opportunity for Plymouth to get some more momentum.
Mason Faulkner currently at the charity stripe, averaging 20 points per game so far in his first 2 openings for the Plymouth City Patriots. But this is a team that shoots 76% for the charity stripe. And interestingly, Sheffield Sharks are below that average. So something the Plymouth City Patriots have to identify to try to get to the free throw line as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Faulkner. He didn't play in the opening game against Plymouth, against Bristol, where Plymouth struggled. So to have him back onto the floor, you can see the addition that he is. Since he's come in, he's really been the focal point.
Oh, interesting about him is that in his final year of university basketball, the NCAA went to Louisville, but at the moment, Sheffield Sharks will try to get the final possession. Adekoya going down low, and every time the Sharks get the ball in the paint, it is simply too easy, coach. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the first quarter, we're all locked in between the Sharks and the City Patriots, but at the moment, we'll take a break, and we'll be back momentarily.
Everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain. Anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, just reachable. Your step high is achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win. Can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. I've seen this in 2 decades.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
Can you believe it?
We are British basketball.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans, here to the second quarter of this matchup between the Plymouth City Patriots and the Sheffield Sharks. We're currently locked in at 18 apiece. We'd like to welcome everybody watching live on the YouTube stream. If you are watching, hit that like button and also subscribe to the British Basketball League on YouTube and all other social media platforms. I'm Josh Bett alongside Surrey Scorchers head coach Lloyd Gardner. But, Coach, what have we seen so far here in the first quarter?
We've seen typical Sheffield Sharks game. Great defensive energy from them. Just kind of plugging away right now. Tempo's in their favor. That's something that Plymouth are going to have to change. How can they make this a quicker game? How can they make it a more high-scoring game? Because I think that plays into their hands, into their favor. Having said that, great work from them on the offensive glass. Cook already in foul trouble. Another big win for them.
Well, Sheffield doing everything they can to get inside the paint and just bullying at the moment. Allen just getting an easy 2 points there against Jules Dengakoto. Can the Plymouth City Patriots respond? Bob penetrates down the middle, makes a no-look dime. Inside the paint goes up, and then a good response, paint to paint there from these two teams.
That's what Joe Hart can add. You know, the threat of his perimeter shot. Very good playing with advantage when he gets the defenders chasing. does a good job there getting his teammate open.
Well, Idle Rock is wide open in the corner. Ladakoya now having to face up here, kicks this one out. Almost turning it over. Skipper Nichols goes to the mid-range, can't convert this.
You see stops and run for Plymouth. Chance for them to play just against a slightly looser defense from Sheffield, and that's what happens.
Well, getting their first three-point field goal, and the home crowd just getting into this one as Johnson knocking it down from downtown.
And Johnson's, even though he plays the 5 spot for Plymouth a lot of the time, very good shooter. 41% senior year of college, so he's a guy you've got to get out and guard, as he showed there.
Well, Terrell Allen there drawing the foul again against Jules Dengakoto. And we've got a timeout now as these two teams want to talk it over. And you might need to get your flashlight out if you're calling this timeout, because the lights have been turned off. And but you've coached in this arena. I mean, look, I love the Plymouth Pavilions. It's one of the greatest fan bases here in the British Basketball League. I mean, the fans are phenomenal. But how do you go through a timeout when the lights are out?
Yeah, it's tough. You're right next to a speaker as well, is the other thing you don't see on the picture here. I don't know if it's tactical. There's a big speaker right next to your bench as well when you're trying to talk to your players. But obviously, you know, Plymouth do a tremendous job with the entertainment here to keep the crowd informed. And then you can see Atiba trying to draw something up for his team. And I think he'll be frustrated with the start for that second quarter. They haven't got control defensively in the way they would have hoped. And Plymouth back-to-back baskets, just trying to find that rhythm that you need. So a good timeout from Atiba Lyons just to get control once again for his team.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, one player that we have to really talk about has been Jalen Pipkins. He has been phenomenal for this Sheffield Sharks team. And here are some of his key highlights that we've seen from him. But, you know, how do you break this player down if you're trying to defend him?
Well, that's a tough question. If you know the answer, let me know. He had 18 on us last night, played exceptionally well. He's just super efficient in everything he does. You know, he said he's a very good athlete, can get to the rim, loves the pull-up game as well. So puts a lot of pressure on you going to the basket in attack mode. So therefore, sometimes you have to give him those jump shots, and when he gets them going, it's a problem.
Well, another foul is going to be called against LVC Dusha, but we'd like to give some shout-outs at the moment to two Sheffield Sharks fans, Gabe and John, currently watching from Derbyshire, season ticket holders, and also shout-out to Ben and Tori cheering for the Plymouth City Patriots.
Interesting from Sheffield. They've gone to RJ Idlerock a couple of times in the post against LVC. I think that's twofold, knowing how important LVC Dusha is for the Plymouth City Patriots, but also recognizing the matchup problem RJ can be. You know, very skilled player, can shoot it, but there he is in the post, and you can use him as that inside-outside threat.
Sharks trail them by 3 points. Nichols looking for a handoff here, nowhere to go. On the penetration inside the lane, almost turning it over, but it's going to remain Sharks ball. Oh no, I think that might be a 24-second violation, I believe.
Yeah, shot clock's on 0, so it's got to be a violation.
Well, Sharks turnover. This could build a lot of confidence here for the Plymouth City Patriots. Remember, they have not won so far in their opening 3 games in the British Basketball League this season.
Great start to the second quarter for them. 5-2 run. See if they can continue that here.
Plymouth going to a dribble handoff. Trying to find some switches, but again, see the passing becoming a little bit difficult, but that's also down to the suffocated defense by the Sheffield Sharks. Dakota's got to get something going now. Time winding down. Splits the defense, and a blocking foul's been called. A bit of a scramble there on offense by the City Patriots.
Yeah, it was all over the place. RJ tried to take the charge, didn't quite get in position, and Plymouth being bailed out here because Jules had picked up the ball. Dangakoto will be at the line for 2 shots as well. So something from nothing for Plymouth. Great opportunity for Dangakoto.
Well, Jules Dangakoto, you know, didn't traditionally go down the NCAA route like some of the top British basketball league talents that we have. He actually started his junior basketball in Slovenia with Union Olimpia Ljubljana, one of the big honchos of the ABBA League.
Yeah, Jules left the UK early. He went to Slovenia and then spent time in Germany as well. So it wasn't until later in his career we got to see him back here on British shores. Came through the London Pioneers program, so credit to them for helping develop Jules.
5-point lead here. Intercepting the backdoor play.
Right,
Park comes up with it.
And this is, you know, this second quarter is what Plymouth want to do. There you see, good open look for them. But this is more their style of game.
Well, trying to go for the quick three in transition. Able to convert it, though. They've only made one so far. Adekoya trying to bully his way to the basket. Plymouth preventing him from getting an offensive board. Well, can Plymouth extend their lead? Going down low now, drawing a bit more contact, and they'll go back to the free throw line. This is much better from the Plymouth City Patriots, Lloyd.
Second units for both teams in right now. For Plymouth, you know, I like the balance that they've got on the floor. I like Jules being able to get downhill, outward, and, you know, being able to play inside, outside. The perimeter shooting of Joe Hart as well. And we've already talked about the threat of Johnson. For Sheffield, it's interesting to see Pipkins come back in. The five on the floor, no Pipkins and no Ramsey, who have been the two guys that have really been the focal point offensively for them through that run. You know, they've been scoring about 40% of the points for Sheffield in their first 3 or 4 games. So without either of them on the floor, felt like Sheffield just lost their way offensively, didn't have the focal point that perhaps they wanted, somebody to make plays for others.
Well, Atwood only had 9 points the other night against the Giants, but did score 20 against the Leicester Riders. And definitely here this evening, he's going to have a big input if Plymouth are going to get their first victory this season. The Sharks trying to break the defense down, but again, 3 possessions, unable to get something going. Plymouth leading by 6.
This is where they need to take advantage. This defense is settled again for Sheffield. Plymouth have got to work something in the half court.
Johnson goes for a tough one. Well, I think they're going to call foul off the rebound, I believe, so it will be a baseline possession here to the Plymouth City Patriots.
That's been the best part of their game, Plymouth. Crashing the glass, you could see a lot of guys heading towards the offensive rebound. Sheffield haven't done a very good job of controlling that. 5th offensive rebound now for Plymouth.
Second team foul here for the Sheffield Sharks. And then you can see the offensive rebounds. I mean, you alluded to this a lot in the first quarter. Plymouth do fight for offensive boards. They go for second chances.
Well, the team always fights in everything they do. They play with great energy, and it's plays like that, you know, whether that's a pass, an offensive rebound, I'm not sure, but either way, points for Plymouth, and it's just the activity and effort that gets it for them.
Makai Noble played NCAA Division II at Florida Tech for one of your former coaches, actually, Billy Mims, getting his first field goal of the game. Sharks trying to go for the perimeter.
That's not the shot they want, and here comes Plymouth. A lot of momentum. Sheffield already caught a timeout.
As Joe Hart just nails the three-pointer. Now it's a double-digit lead into the home side. And those Plymouth City Patriots fans doing what they do best.
This is the question now with the media timeout coming in less than a minute for Atiba. They need something to stem the momentum. They get exactly that, and it's from Pipkins, key man for Sheffield. But, you know, you're worrying, do you wait for the timeout? Do you call one to stop the momentum? Because right now, Plymouth are rolling.
Well, great response there by Jalen Pipkins. They need to stop her on defense. The lane goes for a teardrop, a little bit too much on it. Noble trying to fight for the offensive board, but Sheffield just need to get something going. They go for another quick 3, but you talk about shot selection. Yeah, those kind of shots there, that's what he does best. We saw in their victory on the road against the Cheshire Phoenix. But, you know, a play like Stewart, you got to feel, you know, is that the right time and place to take a 3 in transition?
I mean, Parker Stewart, that's what he does, you know, catch and shoot. He's exceptional at it, so you don't want to take that away from him. The big thing really the other way, if that had gone, you know, Plymouth had a great opportunity, good penetration from Hart again, but they just missed a little chippy, and you almost could see momentum swinging back again to Sheffield if the 3 from Stewart had dropped.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please hit that like button on YouTube and also subscribe to the British Basketball League. But also let us know who you are, where you're watching, and which team are you supporting. Are you supporting the Sharks or are you supporting the Plymouth City Patriots? Rotino now kicking this one out. Bit of a tough pass. Goes up, getting rejected. Makai Noble said, not in my house.
Again, that energy from Plymouth. Making things work. Great defensive rotation from Noble.
Well, this one goes out of bounds. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a little break now as we'll be back momentarily for this game.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They They must be blind like curtains, certain. Anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, just reachable. Lost the heights, achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable.
I am unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out the clock. I fail once gonna stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
Welcome back, Basel fans, here to the Plymouth Pavilions at the moment. The Plymouth City Patriots. Oh, what a block shot we had by Mackay Noble. But again, it's interesting to see players playing for former British Basketball League legends, in the case of Billy Mims in NCAA Division II, and now making the jump here to the British Basketball League. 9-point lead here to the City Patriots. Dakota now kicking this one out. Wiley going for a deep three. It's up and it's good. And at the moment, the Plymouth City Patriots flying with confidence.
Yeah, felt the media timeout was a good thing for Sheffield. Try and kill some of that momentum. Plymouth had got it, but great offense from them. First time out, pick and pop from Wiley, gets a good clean look.
Well, the Sharks are a team that like the adversity of playing on the road, as we saw in the case against the Cheshire Phoenix. Ramsey tries to go in, doesn't get anything going. Plymouth need to build this momentum. They need to keep this crowd emotionally in this game. Goes baseline again. Good hands in by Adekoya, but a foul is going to be called.
And that's going to be 2 on Adekoya. Cook already out. He's been out for a long time, having picked up his second foul early. So it'll be interesting to see, will Cook come back now, having only played 2.5 minutes in this first half, or will they leave Adekoya to play with 2, who's already out there? Right now, Sheffield needs something to change momentum. So I wonder if Cook will come back, see if they can get a couple of post-ups for him, see if they can get that advantage on the inside, because, you know, right now for Sheffield, the big thing is rebounding for me. You're giving up a lot of offensive rebounds, but more than that, it's 16 to 11 on the glass in total. So something that usually they're so good at, controlling the glass, you know, looking after tempo, they haven't done here.
Jacob Wiley making the second free throw. Prior to coming to the British Basketball League, did play in the Greek Basketball League, where he had the experience of playing against teams such as Panathinaikos and Olympiakos. So a bit of experience to play against Euro League powerhouses. Now, you know, taking that experience here in the British Basketball League. 14-point deficit. Hipkins wrapped around, and a foul is going to be called against Mackay Noble. Again, that's a tough one, because from this angle, it did look like he got old ball, but maybe a bit of contact there from the left arm.
Again, when Sheffield needs something, this is why we highlighted him before the game. Pipkins is the man they go to. Great try from him. He's such a tough cover. Getting to the rim.
Well, Pipkins has been a phenomenal talent so far here for the Sheffield Sharks. Got a phenomenal 24 points on the road against Cheshire Phoenix, and a big victory for them. But as you mentioned, you had 18 points against your team last night. I mean, there's so many ways that this guy can affect you on the floor. But you know, defensively, he's also a phenomenal defender as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's super efficient. Said he had 18 against us, but 8 of 12 from the field. It's a tough number from a perimeter guy. So a little bit of trap from Sheffield. Just token pressure, trying to slow Plymouth down.
Patriots breaking down the full court pressure now.
Oh, that's a big difference right there, isn't it? 13 points from the line. And we said Sheffield are so often difficult to get easy points against. Plymouth have done that through the free throw line.
Well, forcing the Plymouth City Patriots into a turnover, and a foul is going to be called against Atwood. 3:40 to go here in the second quarter. But, you know, good defense so far we've seen from the Sheffield Sharks in the last 2 possessions.
Interesting, because we said about free throws, cheap one in the backcourt, puts Ramsey on the line. And I was just thinking, you know, Devell Ramsey hasn't had influence on this game so far. He's been quiet, yet to score. Now he's going to get the opportunity to go to the line, and that's going to be big for him, I think. Sheffield, we said Ramsey and Pipkins in the backcourt is so often the, you know, the generator of offense for their team. And Ramsey's been kept quiet in the opening 16 minutes here.
Well, timeout, lights out here at the Plymouth Pavilions. These two teams will talk it over, but, you know, you talk about Sheffield's defense, but, and a big thing you alluded to earlier is the free throws. Monumental difference there between Plymouth and Sheffield. Plymouth just getting to the charity stripe a lot more so far here in the first half.
Well, first quarter, we said it was 18 apiece. At the end of the first quarter, they said that tempo was Sheffield's. 18 points in a quarter. They keep teams to the under 20. You know, that's where they like to play. Already here, we've got, what, 3:42 left in this second quarter, and already Plymouth have scored 18 points. So the offense has been flowing a lot better for them. Some of that is coming from the free throw line. And that's what I said in the early stages, where Sheffield are so good is they just don't break down very often in the defensive end. So everything is a struggle. Every point you have to work hard for. Plymouth have been able to get those cheapies. Offensive rebounds, free throws, and now when they've added a couple of pick and pops, a couple of threes, Joe Hart's made one, Wiley's made one, Johnson's made one, that's what's changed the game for them.
Well, coming back onto the floor will be 2 free throws coming up for Devell Ramsey. Ramsey's, I've alluded to in previous games, interesting, you know, 2014 played with Jason Tatum for the United States of America's under-17 championship team at the under-17 FIBA World Cup in Dubai. But, you know, prior to coming to the Sheffield Sharks, had a bit of G League experience, but, you know, he has been a great talent for this team so far in this league.
Yeah, he changed the dynamic of Sheffield a little bit because he still fits that mold of a great defender, rugged on-ball guy, but, you know, adds a little bit more of tempo for them offensively. Can be a one-man fast break if you let him get out into the open floor. I like his addition. I like his fit with the Sheffield team.
Sheffield now trailing by 11 points. 3:30 to go here in the second quarter.
Important bit of time here for both teams. You know, this period before the half, Plymouth won't want to give up this lead. And Sheffield, they just want to get it back to a manageable number.
Well, Dayankoto trying to isolate there from the mid-range, unable to get something going. Sheffield potentially can cut this down to single digits. Ramsey trying to be the floor general here, trying to get everybody into position. Well, now we're under 10 here on the shot clock. Ramsey isolating, pulling up for the mid-range. And again, that's his bread and butter, but unable to get the rhythm going so far.
Plymouth doing a very good job of controlling the paint, packing it in, not letting Sheffield get to the rim and challenging those pull-ups.
Well, takes the deflection going out of bounds, but Taylor Johnson checking back into the game along with Mason Faulkner. And, you know, good to see both teams with, you know, reasonable amount of depth in their lineups, of course. Both teams going to their benches very early on here. You know, it's a huge progression of how far the British Basketball League has come, because in previous years, you've almost seen 5 players almost play for 40 minutes in some seasons.
Well, this second unit for Plymouth has been the difference right now. Great kind of welcome present for them to bring Johnson back in, to bring Faulkner back in with this lead now.
Blackwood fakes a pass now, goes to the long 19-foot again. 6-on-1, right in the face there of Devell Ramsey. But these are tough shots that Plymouth are having to execute at the moment for Lloyd.
Yeah, but the difference is they're making them. You know, they're making them. Sheffield are missing. Arche walks into a 3. That's a big hit for them. You look at the shooting percentages, 42% from Sheffield and 52% from Plymouth.
Plymouth just falling asleep there on defense. You saw the response from Coach Paul James. Again, they try to go inside the lane. That's a much better shot selection. Again, sinking that one as Atwood at the moment feeling the confidence.
Yeah, he's got his rhythm. Atwood back-to-back shots.
Ramsey going in the lane now. Kicks out here. The pump fake. Made his loss in the perimeter, but can't get it going for the mid-range.
I think, again, though, good possession defensively for Plymouth. Ramsey got all the way to the basket. They forced it to come back out again.
Going in with a tough jump hook there, going away from the bucket, but Sheffield with a chance to cut it down to 10 points, maybe 9 if they go for a 3-pointer. Patience is going to be the key for their offense. Tino tries another 3-pointer. Can't get it out of Koya, battling for offensive boards. But Johnson comes up with it. Foul has been drawn. Casey, if you look at the shot selection here from Sheffield Sharks, I mean, is it fair to say that at the moment they're executing and getting high percentage looks, but they're just not knocking them down at the moment?
Yeah, I think that can be fair. You know, both teams, we said sometimes the difference is just making or missing shots. You know, at the end of the day, that's the game, right? You've got to put the ball in the basket. So sometimes the offense can be perfect and you don't make it. Other times it can be not, you know, the best, as that offense wasn't ideal for Plymouth, but it's just Atwood just stepping up and makes one. Now he's got the rhythm for the second.
We're brought in by Coach Paul James, one of the longest reigning coaches here in the British Basketball League. A legend in his right mind, started as an assistant coach under the Thames Valley Tigers before taking the head coaching role back in 1997 and taking them to back-to-back British Basketball League playoff championships, but losing on both occasions to the Birmingham Bullets and to the London Towers, another team that used to play for, Coach.
Long time ago now. That's absolutely right, Josh. You know, just kind of looking at the stats, only 10 points for Sheffield in the second quarter. You know, that's the big difference right now. The offense has dried up for them. And said sometimes they've had some good looks, they just haven't been able to knock them down. Looking at the kind of individuals for their team, that backcourt of Ramsey and Allen, 1 of 9 from the field between those two. That's probably the area they'll be looking for to get some more points. And again, the foul trouble for Cook, that's a difference for them as well, because they haven't had that guy that they can throw the ball to in the low post.
Taylor Johnson going to the free throw line for the Plymouth City Patriots. Well, Taylor Johnson played at the same university as Cheshire Phoenix's Aaron Rye at Dartmouth College. The first team he played for here in the United Kingdom was in the NBL for the Leicester Warriors, but had 2 good years with the Thames Valley Cavaliers. But ultimately, it was last season with Hemel Storm, and they had a phenomenal year, coached by Drew Spinks. But, you know, it's fair to say, I would say in my mind that, you know, the transition from the NBL for the BBL for this man has been so far a good transition for him.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor has proved to be a scorer throughout his career. Did it at the NCAA Division I level for sure. You know, he's done it at NBL level here. So no surprise that he's been able to transfer. That's, you know, for the people that saw him play for Hemel, I think that everybody would think that can transfer over. I think he's done a good job at the other parts of his game, being a provider, you know, being able to play on the defensive end as well. When he was at Hemel, he was asked to score a lot of points. You know, he's transferred that role for Plymouth here, and he's been kind of more of a role player to adjust to playing in the BBL.
Well, another timeout here. Lights out timeout, as we say, at the Plymouth Pavilions, but phenomenal atmosphere so far from the home crowd. But at the moment, Plymouth City Patriots with a 14-point lead against the Sheffield Sharks. But this is interesting because they haven't really had this kind of momentum at home. They had a very good game on the road against the Leicester Riders, which unfortunately, Riders came back and took the victory against them. But you know, they got to go to the halftime break. And, you know, for the case of the Plymouth City Patriots, it's about coming out with the same mindset and mentality to give these fans what they've desperately been waiting for, a first victory this season.
Well, we talked about how unique sometimes it is to play against Sheffield. And the big thing that you kind of think about going into games with Sheffield is they are very good at having swings of momentum. So, you know, they're a team that can really have a great quarter. They can really put a stranglehold on you offensively. On the same breath, though, sometimes they have those issues offensively where they'll dry up. And you kind of feel like this is the moment where Sheffield's offense has dried up. This is the opportunity for Plymouth to take that advantage. And that's why this last sort of 75 seconds here is important, because they need to go into the half with a sizable lead, because this is the moment they can win the game, and then you're looking to hold on for the second half. You know Sheffield are going to come back. You know they're going to get their momentum. You know there'll be a point where your offense is a little bit sticky against them as well.
Well, RJ currently the free throw line here for the Sheffield Sharks. So coming from the great Barking Abbey Academy, again, a player that you know quite a lot about.
Yeah, coached RJ for a couple of years when he was a younger player. Obviously been over in the States the last 5 years with a great coaching staff at first at UMBC and then moving over to Utah State. Great to see him in our professional league.
We're over a minute to go now. Plymouth City Patriots currently leading by 13 points. They're coming off the ball screen now. 5 seconds here on the shot clock. Atwood penetrates, goes all the way with the left hand. Again, will not be denied.
Atwood's been great, hasn't he? Real X factor for Plymouth. High efficiency scoring just when they need it.
Well, Adekoya's going to get called for the traveling violation. Mackay Noble, well, Paul James a little bit frustrated with his team's rotation there, but again, they force another turnover. And a potential, well, 40 seconds, maybe a little bit too short there, but a 2-for-1 could be on the cards for the Plymouth City Patriots, but they'll have to go quick.
Hit it to Atwood. See if they can draw something up for him. He's the hot hand right now.
Well, Faulkner looking to isolate down the middle. Goes all the way, and again, using the backboard to perfection. And the City Patriots, at the moment, controlling the tempo. Well, Sheffield looking to dribble this one down here for the last shot. Ramsey got it by Taylor Johnson. Ramsey now goes in, puts up a circus shot, can't get it. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the first half, it is the Plymouth City Patriots who lose by 17 points. But at the moment, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back momentarily.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. There must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, just reachable. Your stop height is achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win. Can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. I've seen this in 2 decades.
A new era, a fresh start, a total reset. We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
Can you believe it?
We are British basketball.
Lewis throwing it. Oh! And there's our posterizer slapping his head top again. Legion Robertin putting a body.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that is top 10, maybe number 1.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans, here to the Plymouth Pavilions, where at the moment the Plymouth City Patriots have a 17-point cushion as they look for their first victory this season. But at the moment, they're up against the Sheffield Sharks. Lloyd, at the moment, unexpected, of course, but, you know, the Plymouth City Patriots, credit to them, they are battling, and rightfully so, in the lead.
Brilliant performance from Plymouth, you know, especially in that second quarter. The momentum, the tempo, everything working for them. To score 46 points against Sheffield, that is the difference in the game right now. If Plymouth can get that game in the 80s, keep it in the 90s, at the end, they've got a chance of winning this, you know, for sure. If Sheffield can hold them into the 60s, that's where they want the game to be. In the 60s, early 70s, and that's the type of tempo they want.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look at the game stats here for the first half. And, you know, looking at these, Lloyd, at the moment, rebounds definitely has been a big factor.
Rebounds and free throws. That's the difference right now. You can see the easy points for Plymouth, 15 points from the line. They lead by 17. And then on the other side, you know, 22-13 on the glass against Sheffield. The loss of Cook with the foul trouble, maybe that affected it, but Sheffield have got to do a better job in those energy areas that have been dominated by Plymouth in the early stages.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to look at the tail of the first half and what's been a magnificent game so far for the Plymouth City Patriots. Let's go and look at some of the key moments so far, which has led to their 17-point cushion against the Sheffield Sharks. Well, again, we talked about free throws and rebounds, but, you know, at the moment, Pipkins so far has really been the key threat here for the Sheffield Sharks, Lloyd.
Well, for Sheffield, the first quarter was the way they want the game. They had the tempo. Pipkins was going. Had a couple of performances off the bench from RJ Idle-Rock, who played pretty well. Adekoya made a couple of finishes on the inside. It was the second quarter where it fell apart. They started off with no Pipkins and no Ramsey out on the floor with the second unit, and they lost all the momentum. Plays like this for Plymouth when they were struggling for points, just the energy they played with. They got on the offensive glass, they got in out on the open floor, and that gave them the momentum to just keep that scoreboard ticking over, which is so important.
Well, of course, some of the key players that we've mentioned already here in this game, but let's take a look at the Plymouth City Patriots. I mean, one player that's been phenomenal, TJ Atwood. His offensive input at the moment with 12 points for the Plymouth City Patriots has been an underlying X factor here for the home team. Legacy again, the penetration to dish. I'll find him at Kai Noble, making the jump from NCAA Division II under the great Billy Mims to now here with Paul James. But Johnson hitting the deep three-pointer. And again, they haven't made many perimeter shots, but if they had so far, this game could be done and dusted.
It's also the timing of when they made those threes. It was in the middle of that run when they stepped up. And, you know, you've mentioned about the performance of Atwood, but Faulkner and Wiley as well, 9 points and 7 points respectively, have also come in and played their part.
Well, Jules Dancoto kicking this one out, finding Wiley for the deep three-pointer. Something that could really blow this game away is if they do get that confidence from downtown. But again, TJ Atwood, this guy has been phenomenal so far here for the Plymouth City Patriots. As we mentioned, they do have a 17-point lead, but Atwood, again, penetration going straight to the bucket. But, you know, ladies and gentlemen, what a game it has been so far. But at the moment, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back momentarily. Well, we're going to take a look at now some of the key highlights as we're going to leave you here from yesterday's game here in the British Basketball League.
Nice pass. Wang going in, and Wang finishes with the layup.
That's where he's at his best.
Shot clock is off. They can take the last one here. Well, they just lost Adekoya down court, and he's able to lay it in. It's good running into traffic. Has to get it away. Scoops it up on the buzzer, and that will count. Nichols kicks out Idle-Rock for three, and he knocks it down.
Idle-Rock.
Sheffield trying to get a double-figure lead here. 2.5 minutes from halftime. A bit of a slip there. Pipkins does well. Oh, incredible!
Goodness! Jalen Pipkins, when things are going your way, and shots like that are falling.
Robinson cutting to the rim, and he's fouled. The basket will count. Well, Kipper Nichols trying to get those points back, and he does exactly that. Pipkins dancing his way and spinning it in off the glass.
That is remarkable.
Here's Teo in his favorite spot. Well, those are almost automatic. But Hunt on the glass puts it back. Pipkins going to watch the clock tick. Adekoya fakes the screen. Pipkins has it knocked away. But Nichols has it. Nichols to win it! No, we are going to overtime. His steal for three. Got it! Josh Steele off the bench, and he knocks down a big three for the Scorchers. Robinson gets it. Oh, it's stolen away by Ramsey. Ramsey will run it back. Gooden will chase him down, but he won't stop him. And Sheffield are ahead. Gooden creates room to tie it. No, back iron. It's batted out. Robinson. No, off the back of the rim. And Surrey have their hearts broken again in overtime by the Sheffield Sharks. Pinto with the transition triple.
Wow.
7 points off turnovers already for Leicester. Thomas is going to fire up a three and he's going to knock it down, and Leicester have scored 20 of the first 22 points. Pinson out to Asprey with the transition threes and another one. Oh my goodness, Leicester on fire. For Leicester, it's their best quarter for 5 years as Samuels gets the scoreboard ticking for them.
Nice move here for Corey Samuels.
Samuels misses the free throw, and Green is able to get a second chance opportunity, and Ottesen turns it into a three. There's another technical call. They're both on Rob Paternostre. I think he's been ejected from the game. Shot clock is off, so Bristol can take it down to the buzzer and get it back to, well, at least 10, possibly single figures. They're baiting Johnson into shooting, and he takes the bait and knocks down the three. Pinson shaking and baking inside to Adowu, who saw Thomas open underneath, and he scores, and the foul is called, and he's enjoying that. Here's McKenzie, kicks to the corner, and Thomas, and he knocks down the triple, and suddenly Leicester are back out to a comfortable margin. Ottesen kicks out to Samuels for three, and he knocks it down.
Oh, here we go. That could spark a little run here from the Flyers.
Here's Walker. McKenzie, oh, they've left him wide open. That's a massive defensive breakdown. Leicester responded in the third quarter to take the victory, despite the fact coach Rob Paternostre was ejected on 2 technical fouls in quick succession.
Everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain. Anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, it's reachable. Lost over heights, achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable.
Let's take the stage higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places that never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win! Oh! Can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie, oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. I've seen this in 2 decades.
A new era, a fresh start, a total reset.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are British basketball.
Lewis throwing it. Oh! And there's our posterizer slapping his head top again. Legion Robertin putting a body.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that is top 10, maybe number 1.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans, here to this game between the Sheffield Sharks and the Plymouth City Patriots. And here are some of the key results from the weekend, but make sure you tune in later tonight as we head to the Cheshire Oaks Arena as the Phoenix, they'll be hosting top of the table London Lions. Well, welcome back, Bruce Wrestling fans. Again, it's been an unbelievable atmosphere so far here at the Plymouth Pavilions, but a 17-point lead here for the Plymouth City Patriots, Coach Lloyd Gardner. This has been a great performance from the home team.
Well, big upset on the cards, really. Plymouth still searching for that first win. Exceptional first 20 minutes for them. Sheffield, who have looked so good in their other games up until now, you know, they haven't really made the trip down the M4 so far. They haven't got to Plymouth yet. First quarter was pretty effective, but disappointing for them in that second 10 minutes.
Well, Sheffield Sharks, of course, last night, you know, a big victory on the road against your Surrey Scorchers, but it's not a short journey from Surrey all the way down to the southwest. So definitely a little bit of adversity for them. Maybe they can find themselves back in the second half.
That's going to be the question. You know, they've got to come with better energy. They've got to take care of the small details that usually they're so good at. We talked about rebounding. We talked about not putting Plymouth on the line for easy points. Can they make those adjustments? And then when you look down the lineup for Sheffield, we see Ramsey, we see Routinho coming out. These are guys that have got to step up. Those two have only got 2 apiece. You know, Pipkin's really the only guy who's got 10 points, has done anything offensively in that starting 5. Arthur Rock with 9 has been a big plus for them off the bench, but just 29 points in the first half for Sheffield.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching live on the YouTube stream, please hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the British Basketball League on YouTube and other social media platforms.
Interesting change in lineup for Sheffield. They've gone back to Cook. He's often been the starter for them. He got those 2 fouls early. Can he see extensive minutes on the floor? That's what he'll add for them. Snatches in that first rebound. Can they get some offensive production through him on the low block as well?
Well, Allen played good defense down the other end against Taylor Johnson. Routinho goes in and gets rejected. Well, good defense coming from the Plymouth City Patriots. Can they capitalize? Johnson wide open. 3 is up. 3 is good. End-to-end stuff here. And now it is a 20-point lead to the home side.
Yeah, the confidence of Plymouth from that first half. LVC, a great find to get Johnson just wide open in transition.
Well, Sharks need a response here, but they turn it right back over. Johnson comes up with it. Again, a bit of a wasted opportunity for the Plymouth City Patriots to get something quick. Finding Atwood, he's been good so far, but again, can't find his feet on that shot.
The transition defense from Sheffield, though, they did a good job of matching up quickly, taking away any opportunity. They need to get going on this end of the floor, though.
Well, going for the mid-range, and again, Terrell Allen.
It's an offensive foul.
Oh, so no.
Yeah, no. Basket's going to count foul on Cook on the rebound. 3rd foul on Cook. It's a huge call against Sheffield because we said, you know, Sheffield have struggled on the boards. He's already got 2 defensive rebounds, giving them that anchor point to play their offense from. But just mows over the man rolling to the basket here. Oh, offensive foul, so 3 on Cook.
Well, as you mentioned, the 2 points will count it, but a bit of a costly error there for Cook and the Sharks. Well, Faulkner makes a dump down. Atwood gets fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. This is much better. You can see Mason Faulkner really drawing the attention of all the Sharks defenders. And now will be 2 free throws coming up for the City Patriots.
Same as the first half, though. Plymouth back to the line. Sheffield, how did they allow Faulkner to get that room in and around the basket? It was just, you know, too easy for him to get deep. Finds Atwood on the rotation. It's an easy opportunity. And Allen, I think it was, who committed the foul, kind of did it just to save the 2, so he saved the point. But really, Atwood shouldn't have been that open in the key.
Well, Atwood currently at the free throw line here for the Plymouth City Patriots. Again, had played professionally in Slovakia last season. Also, a bit of experience playing in Denmark and in Malta. So he makes the 2nd free throw. Sharks at the moment now. Need to find a bit of momentum here. Trying to shake off the long journey from Yorkshire to Surrey and now here to Devon. Trying to split the defense down, but nowhere to go. Another turnover. Plymouth comes up with it. Johnson kicks out. And one credit to the Sharks you mentioned already, Lloyd, is that, you know, their transition defense is very effective. They don't give Plymouth a lot of transition buckets.
That's 4 on Cook as well now. No, they don't, but the ball just moves so quickly for Plymouth on that last offense. You'll see it on the replay. There was 5, 6, 7 passes in the first 10 seconds, and Sheffield are chasing. That's not the way they want to play. Cook then bites on a shot fake, picks up a cheap foul. 4 on him. He's gone to the bench. Adekoya back in. You can see the ball just swinging one side to the other. Cook bites on the fake, gets a cheap foul. He's gone. We won't see him until the 4th quarter now, so it's extensive minutes for Adekoya. And that did not work for Sheffield in the first half very well.
Plymouth lead by 19 points here. A few seconds on the shot clock. Have to go for the top mid-range under intense pressure. And again, no problem from the baseline.
Basketball is a game of momentum, and that is what Plymouth have right now. Looking full of confidence. They're making those mid-range shots, so now when they're seeing the basket, it's getting bigger and bigger.
Nichols had the mismatch against LVC Douche. The double team did come over, but Kipper Nichols will go to the charity stripe here for 2 free throws for the Sheffield Sharks.
I like the sub getting Kipper Nichols in early. I think he's a guy who talked about some others, you know, somebody who's got to step forward. Kipper is that player. He's been with Sheffield now for a couple of years. We know his ability offensively. We know how he can be an X factor for their team when he gets going. Scoreless in that first half. We're talking about a guy, you know, who's always averaged double figures through his 4 years in the BBL with Sheffield. So they're going to need him to be able to step up, see if he can get them some points to get the ball moving.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, our later game here on the YouTube platform of the British Basketball League will be between the Cheshire Phoenix and the London Lions. That will tip off at 6 p.m. So enjoy your Sunday roast here. Enjoy a cup of tea as the Lions will be going up to Ellesmere Port to take on. But our big game next week will be on Sky Sports as the Caledonia Gladiators will play in their new arena against the Surrey Scorchers. And again, if you're in town in Scotland, make sure you go to that game. That's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere as now the Sharks come up and it goes in. And that's a, unsportsmanlike foul, yeah. But the question is, why didn't that count?
The foul was before.
Right,
so,
right.
Allen was in transition. He got held back. That's been an unsportsmanlike foul. If he'd been in the act of shooting, it wouldn't have been called as an unsportsmanlike foul. So, you know, it kind of plays into the hands of Sheffield here. And these are the plays they need. This is what can get them back in the game. Scoreboard ticking over. You know, points from their defense, which is where they're usually so good. So a chance for 2 from the line, also possession back as well. Crucial moments, this.
Well, Allen's going to make the first free throw, makes the second one, as you mentioned. So at first glance there, because it was such a quick steal, it looked like the foul was committed, you know, at first glance in the process of going for the lead. But you're absolutely right. I think it was committed just at the free throw line before he got into his 1-2 step. But they'll get the ball back as they chip it down to a 17-point deficit.
They're going to post up Kipper here. That's a great play call. I like this. Go to Kipper, see if he can get him going.
Well, again, takes advantage of the mismatch. Kipper Nichols causing problems here against the backcourt who are having to defend him in the post as Johnson goes up, makes a bit of contact, and a follow-up there. Well, again, throws it down with no regard. Well, there are 2 Jacob Wileys that play professional basketball here in this world, and the second one just turned that one into Wiley Airlines. I'm not sure the first Jacob Wiley will be too happy to hear that, because that was his nickname when he played for North Macedonia. The foul is going to be called. So Kipper Nichols, you mentioned, Lloyd, again causing insurmountable problems here for Plymouth City Patriots.
Yeah, Plymouth need to look at those matchups. Joe Hart guarding Kipper is a tough ask for him, but you know, this is where there's problems for Sheffield. So they get the score, they go to Kipper to get some momentum, just to give up, you know, Taylor Johnson all the way to the rim, and then the offensive rebound as well, which is still being dominated by the Patriots. Looking at it now, 23-15 in favor of the home team.
Well, Kipper Nichols, as we mentioned, 4 seasons now here with the Sheffield Sharks, right out of the University of Illinois, and you know, he joined the Sheffield Sharks. I mean, this has got to be tough when you're just coming out of pro basketball in the midst of the global pandemic of COVID-19, playing with no fans in this stadium.
It was a strange time, wasn't it, for everybody? But, you know, Kipper's evolved his game a lot since coming to the BBL as well. You know, it feels like year on year, he's kind of moved things forward. You know, and he's been a consistent performer from Sheffield. That's what I say. Like, I like the call to try and get him the ball, see if he can get him going here.
Well, Sharks doing a better job of going to the free throw line as Taylor Johnson hits a Hail Mary three-pointer and putting it back to an 18-point deficit for against the Sheffield Sharks. Rotino trying to go straight to the rack, unable to get it, but the Sharks will get it back on the baseline.
Both teams having their struggles with the right matchups. Taylor Johnson was just left open there. for Plymouth. I'm not sure who was supposed to be guarding them for Sheffield or what they were trying to do there on the defensive end.
Well, Johnson's going to get called for the foul. I think that was very much appreciated there from Terrell Allen, but nonetheless, Johnson avoiding any altercation, so we'll be possession back to the Sheffield Sharks on the sideline.
Yeah, there's nothing in that. Taylor's just playing hard, you know, trying to deny Allen the ball, trying to be physical. Yeah, he committed the foul, but nothing in it. Again, back to Kipper, see if he can keep being the aggressor.
Nichols doing a 360 pass, finding DeVal Ramsey, puts up a floater. Another foul's been called, so he'll go to the free throw line at the moment. Plymouth looking very vulnerable on the defense.
Sheffield have got the offense working better now. Like this lineup for them, even without Cook on the floor. And it's interesting, there's no Ramsey, there's no Pipkins out there for Sheffield right now. But this is the lineup that's found some momentum on the offensive end. The problem for them then is with this sizable Plymouth lead, they can't trade baskets. They need runs. Can be small runs, can be just, you know, 6 points here, 4 points there. But it's important they get stops, because right now we talked about it, if this game gets to the, you know, the 80s or 90s, Sheffield have still got to put up another 40, 50 points. That's a lot of points for them in 15 minutes. So they need to limit Plymouth's offensive output right here.
Well, Ramsey making both free throws, cutting it back down to 16 points. It's very interesting. You know, we talk about what a great player Jules Dangakoto is, but you know, naturally he's a spot-up shooter, but at times he has to play point guard role here for the Plymouth City Patriots, and almost at times it feels like he's out of position.
Yeah, I mean, Jules has been a point guard for a long time in his career, likes to get to the basket. He's a very good passer. As you can see there, the extra one.
Well, Mason Faulkner wide open, can't get it. Adekoya secures the loose ball. Nichols down the lane now, bit of contact, goes up, gets his own rebound, and now he cuts it down to a 14-point deficit. At the moment, Paul James is gonna call timeout as he wants to talk it over with his players.
Well, PJ's going to burn one here because you can see how worried he is. There's another stoppage coming in less than 30 seconds, but Sheffield have got that momentum. As we said, their offense is clicking right now. Everything working, and even with this sizable lead, it's worrying times for Plymouth here in this third quarter.
Well, that was the first three-pointer coming from Taylor Johnson. Nice shot on the baseline there by Jacob Wiley. Johnson trying to go all the way here, but Wiley with the follow-up. The put-back dunk, and something that they've needed, but this is quite a tough three-pointer, just a little bit further behind the arc there, but two hands in his face. And at the moment, that's how Johnson needs to play. He needs to become a perimeter threat for the Plymouth City Patriots. Yeah, if you're Paul James, you're trying to stop this momentum. What would you be saying to your players in this timeout?
I think it's just settle down. As we said, you know, the key thing for them is the defensive end. Because if they can just continue to really be focused defensively, make it hard for Sheffield, have Sheffield take up time on the offensive end, then time will run out for them with this sizable lead. For Sheffield, they're also going to be saying the same thing as we talked about. They need stops. So it's about defense for both teams.
16 points is the deficit here at the moment. Plymouth City Patriots still looking for their first victory, while Sheffield Sharks, after their opening defeat on the road against the Newcastle Eagles, back-to-back victories for them as they currently sit at 2-1. Well, Plymouth struggling to get the ball inbound. Again, DeVal Ramsey just putting his hand in the passing lane. Plymouth just need to find a way to get the ball inbound and just to break down the full court pressure. Dangakoto now trying to break the halfway line, but a foul is going to be called here against the Sheffield Sharks on the screen, I believe. So Wiley just hitting the ground. Well, he looks younger and younger every season. He's on the sidelines here. Definitely one of the, well, very experienced and, you know, a great coach that man. You know, the former team that existed before the Plymouth City Patriots was the Plymouth Raiders. And every team he's coached, he's either taken them to a big final or he's won silverware. The only team that he was unable to win any form of a trophy was with the Plymouth Raiders when he played in the British Basketball Cup final against the London Lions. That was back in 2020-21. But, you know, one of the most successful coaches in the history of British basketball.
Oh, he's one of the legends of the game, isn't he? Both as a player and then as a coach now as well. Does an exceptional job. Credit to him, and he's masterminding another one here.
Dangakoto calling for the ball screen with Wiley. So a little floater, can't get it. 6 seconds now. Faulkner, he's wide open, takes it, nails it. And again, Plymouth's perimeter shooting has been good so far here in the third quarter.
It's the rebounding. You know, Sheffield played a great defensive possession to give up an offensive rebound. So as the offensive rebound, you're a weak point to protect the three-point line at that moment, and that's where Plymouth took advantage. Again, we see Sheffield scoring freely, but they need these defensive stops here.
Well, Faulkner draws a foul. The foul is on Terrell Allen. The officials just trying to have a little word there with the players to try and calm things down here at the moment. But again, the moment needs to keep their composure. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a break right now. We will be back momentarily for this game.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain. Anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, you're reachable. Lost over heights, achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable.
I am unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out of clock. I fail once they stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places that never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when a ball drop. My man.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans. Currently watching us live here on the YouTube platform as we have this Plymouth City Patriots currently against the Sheffield Sharks. If you are watching live, please hit that like button and also subscribe to the British Basketball League on YouTube and all other social media platforms. 4:29 to go and a 15-point lead to the team who are still looking for their first victory this season. Well, Mason Faulkner missing their opening game on the road in the Southwest Derby against the Bristol Flyers, but fair to say he has been quite a revelation for this team in their backcourt. He had a phenomenal performance against the Leicester Riders, a game in which they narrowly lost against. Well, makes it 2 for 2 for the Charity Stripes. 17-point deficit, the separation between these two teams. Sheffield breaking down the full court pressure. Sharks at the moment need to try and narrow the gap going into the fourth quarter. As you mentioned, they don't want this to be a game where if it gets into the 80s, as you said before, they'd have to score, at the moment, 35 points from now until the very end, Lloyd.
Yeah, I think for Sheffield, the key is to just try and get it around that single-digit mark if they can. Interesting to see Plymouth have changed up the defense, but a zone for them. See if they can take away the threat of Nichols under the basket. Somebody's down hurt. Who's that?
Well, Mason Faulkner just getting winded there from the bump of Jibril Adekoya. Again, Coach, how easy was it to throw the ball into the high post against the zone and just a simple dump down to Kipper Nichols?
Well, Kipper's been the focal point. He can step out. There's the injury. We know Kipper's good off the drive as well, but we've seen the kind of post-up game from him, that power play you need here at the Pavilions. He's done a good job of becoming that guy for Sheffield, but it's the same story though. They can't just score at one end and then give up some cheap ones. And look like Sheffield have gone into their change-up defense as well. They used a lot before. They start off in a zone, slip into man-to-man as the possession goes on. But it hasn't been seamless as it was last season. They haven't used it as much so far in this early stages.
Well, Dan Cotto going coast to coast, goes up and finishing with a strong move around the basket. A nice move there by Johnson, but what a job there by Jules Cotto, single-handedly breaking down the full court press from the Sharks.
And that's exactly it. Great work from Jules.
Adekoya goes in, an offensive foul is going to be called. A charge. Beautifully taken. Sheffield now just looking all out of sorts here on their offense. Need some composure.
Well, it's the way you have to play. That's the thing. With this lead for Plymouth, it's about managing the game. So Sheffield come with pressure. For Plymouth, you want to take your time on offense, but you know that if you get a chance to break the press and get some easy ones, you've got to continue to be aggressive. You don't want to go into your shell, because that's what they do really well, and that kind of plays into Sheffield's hands coming the other way for the Sharks. They know they need to speed it up. They need points on the board. So Adekoya, perhaps in a regular game, a close one, might not take that early drive, but trailing now, they need points on the board. They're thinking they need to get themselves back into the game, so he goes early. And Plymouth were there, they recognize it, take the offensive foul.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, you can watch all of the highlights from the British Basketball League on YouTube, as well as other great content. We also have some great content coming from inside the paint. Remember, that's all live here on the YouTube platform of the British Basketball League. And if you are watching this live stream, please, as we've already mentioned, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. Exciting times here for the British Basketball League. But, you know, going back to what you said, Atiba Lions calling another timeout here, trailing by 17, 3:48 to go in the third quarter. You know, what are some ways that his team can try to settle down and get themselves back in this game?
Like I keep saying, you know, I feel like I repeat the same things. That the defensive end has got to be the key for Sheffield right now. Can they generate some turnovers? Can they get some things in the open floor? I think they've done a good job using Kipper. Just looking now, looks like Pipkins is coming back into the game. He's been out for a long time. So can they start to use him as well in the open floor a little bit? But it doesn't matter if you're trading baskets. It's got to be this end of the floor. What can they do defensively to just slowly get themselves back in the game? Because there's still a long time. There's plenty of time for them to get the back here if they can just take it by possession.
Well, Dayakoto now currently in the backcourt. Finding Joe Hart here.
Really small lineup for Sheffield.
Tough pass in the lane, getting a loose ball, but again, the follow-up is good, and Sheffield scrambling on defense. You mentioned a smaller lineup, trying to battle up against a much bigger and more physical Plymouth City Patriots front court.
Smart from Plymouth, though. Sheffield was so busy switching, they lost the cut, and they gave up the offensive rebound.
Getting a ball reversal, kicking this one out. Sheffield patiently trying to get the right shot here. 5 here on the shot clock. Ramsey kicks out to Rotino, goes for another three, hasn't made one, but this time he gets it. And that will do that confidence a lot of good.
As we said, sometimes the offense isn't great, but you just make the shot. It's exactly what happened for Sheffield there. They didn't really know where they were going with this small lineup, and eventually Rotino just has to make the play on his own.
Well, that's only their 4th three-pointer of the night. That's Joe Hart. Dayakoto has to force up a tough one. Can't get it. Sharks secure the rebound. Can they chip into a deficit with under 2:30 to go here in the third quarter? Tino looking for the isolation here in the paint. But another offensive foul is going to be called here against the Sharks. It's a tough one there because he's trying to be physical, but you know, I'm not quite sure if he lost control of his body, but excellent job. Let's have a look at the replay. I'll let you assess that one. you can break that one down.
No comment. No comment. Yeah, it's a tough thing to guard, or excuse me, to call the low post. You know, who's creating the contact, who's the aggressor, who's holding position. It's a really tough thing for the referees to be able to call. And I think Tiba probably agrees with you.
I think he agrees with you.
Feel it's an offensive foul as well.
Well, the Plymouth City Patriots will get the ball back. Again, these fans desperately want a victory here. First 3 games have been disappointing for them. The opening game against the Bristol Flyers. But again, Wiley left uncontested. Again, miscommunication between the Sheffield Sharks defenders.
The switching hasn't been slick enough for Sheffield. They've allowed, you know, twice in the switch it to be open under the basket for Johnson.
Well, going for another 3 in the corner. Back-to-back triples, and maybe something that they could try to build on here. Cutting it back down to 15 points. 95 seconds to go in the third quarter. He goes for a step-back three-pointer on target, but can't get it. Sharks secure the rebound.
A great shot for Plymouth. It's interesting. Sheffield have been switching the initial ball screens, and then as Johnson is rolling to the basket, they've been trying to switch away from the ball to take away his threat under the rim. I almost feel like they're better just to stay with those matchups, even though it's a little against big, because it's in that second switch where Sheffield have been losing the man. So, you know, maybe they'll do less of that, just kind of switch the original ball screen, stay with it, fight, and play that one-on-one defense.
The problem with that foul as well, it takes time off the clock. Well, no, it doesn't take your time off the clock, excuse me, but it can potentially now take points off here.
Yeah,
So it's good for Sheffield.
Yeah, this is exactly what Sheffield want. They get the stop, they get the rebound, they get 2 free points right here. You know, and as you said, the clock is stopped. That's the most important thing.
RJ currently at the free throw line. The former Barking Abbey player who played for Lloyd Gardner, cutting it down now here. Sharks need to stop. We're under 90 seconds to go in the third quarter. 13 points and now the separation. Koto trying to go down the lane, puts up a circus shot, can't get it. James at the moment throwing his arms in the air, wondering where's his team's offense gone. Another foul's been called, so oh no, traveling violation. So
he
costly turnover.
Hopped on the same foot. That's the call.
A bit out of control there by RJ Idlerock. That could have potentially, that possession, depending how it could have gone, could have been an 11 or a 10-point deficit, which would have been monumental for Sheffield's confidence. But now you can see Coach Paul James make a change as Jules Dangakoto heads to the bench to take a breather. Just over a minute to go here in the third. Noble finds dish up there, but again, another missed opportunity for the Plymouth City Patriots. But Nichols now split the defense out, getting rejected. Well, what a block shot by Jacob Wiley. Well, Wiley's defensive presence here for the Plymouth City Patriots becoming a solid insurance policy. And he just had a few words for Kipper Nichols as well. Nichols went in. Wiley just said, "No in Mikasa, get out of here." Sheffield just throwing it right away. Again, your reaction from that play. A disappointing offense there from the Sharks.
Oh, it's frustrating if you're a Sheffield fan because they played some really good defense and they've got these little chippy opportunities. And if you think the 2 that they've lost, the travel from RJ, the turnover there, another 4 points on this right now, and it's a 9-point game.
Again, the Plymouth City Patriots.
It's actually a 7-point game.
Yeah, turning it right back over, which gave the Sheffield Sharks a wide open layup. Can the Patriots get a 3-point? They can't get it. Sharks come up with it. A chance here to make this single digits. Ramsey drawing the blocking foul. And that's going to be 2 free throws coming up for the Sharks. So now an opportunity after trailing by 21 to cut this down to potentially a 9-point deficit.
You know, and even with those opportunities for Sheffield, this last 2 minutes of the third quarter has changed the game. You know, Sheffield will go into the fourth quarter now, no matter what happens in this last 6 seconds, with a belief that they can get themselves back into this one. And it's a different psychology now for Plymouth, a team that, you know, had a big lead against Leicester early in the season, a team that's lost against Manchester. How are they going to be able to manage that frustration of having the sizable lead, and now when they look at the scoreboard, it potentially being a single-figure game?
Devell Ramsey currently at the free throw line here for the Sheffield Sharks. The man who, prior to coming to the British Basketball League, played in the NBA G League for the Stockton Kings. Finished his university basketball career at University of California, Santa Barbara, where he averaged just under 8 points per game in his senior year. And Johnson now a chance here. Kicks out to Joe Hart. Hart gets a 3 off in time. 3 is up. No good. And ladies and gentlemen, single-digit deficit now, but we'll be back for the fourth quarter momentarily.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. There must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, you're so high, it's
settling. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when a ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win. Can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. Let's see this in 2 decades.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
Can you believe it?
We are British basketball.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans. Currently watching us live on the British Basketball League YouTube stream between the Plymouth City Patriots and the Sheffield Sharks. I'm Josh Bed, your commentator, alongside head coach of the Surrey Scorchers, Lloyd Gardner. Coach, it has been an unbelievable third quarter here from the Sheffield Sharks.
A huge offensive quarter from them, 30 points. And going to start the fourth quarter with 2 shots to come as well. So offense now rolling for them. Question is, can they just keep up that defensive intensity? You know, 5 minutes midway through that third quarter, you thought there was no way back for them. But really, this lineup, this small ball lineup for Sheffield has been working.
Well, as you mentioned, 8-point deficit in the third quarter going in favor of the Sheffield Sharks. But, you know, Plymouth was really in those final minutes. You could really see them start to self-capitulate, almost like there was no leadership, no belief on the floor. Somebody on this team needs to step up and, you know, have that role for this team because, as we mentioned, they're still looking for their first victory this season in the league. RJ currently at the free throw line. Makes the second one, cutting it down to an 8-point deficit. The team of Lions, cool and composed as he always has been for this team whenever he's been coaching in the last decade for the Sharks.
You said, who's going to be the leader for Plymouth? So often it's been LVC Dusha. See if he can have that influence, that calming nature on his team.
Well, Mason Faulkner just making the penetration, drawing the contact, restoring a little bit of order there for the Plymouth City Patriots.
See if Sheffield try and post RJ against LVC again. That's what they used in that first quarter. There it is.
Kevin Nichols doesn't take many three-pointers. Pump faking now, drawing a bit of contact. Too strong off the backboard. Rebound secured by Taylor Johnson. Well, score now for the Plymouth City Patriots would be big and trying to settle them down as Atwood kicks out to Johnson, but they're going to call a foul here. Which I'm pretty sure they'd be hoping wasn't called because Johnson did hit down the three-pointer. It won't be a baseline possession as a foul has been called. So first team foul of the quarter for the Sheffield Sharks. A handoff with Mason Faulkner and Atwood. You see back in the game for the City Patriots. Johnson going in, finishing under intense pressure, and that's a strong play there, almost a veteran move.
Lane just opened up for him. It was almost like he took a lateral dribble and then just saw the lane was there and took it. Taylor Johnson is a scorer. You cannot give him that much time and space.
Nichols now, a bit of contact, no foul called. Really can capitalize here in transition. Trying to go to Mason Faulkner, but they turn it over, no deflection. So again, you got to appreciate the transition defense from the Sheffield Sharks off their own turnover.
Thought that was opportunity for Plymouth. We said about the way Sheffield have got their momentum back in. Great opportunity there. A couple of good stops for Plymouth. How they would have loved, a score in transition. Some changes for them. Allen's coming back in. I liked his defensive energy in the third quarter. Thought he was a real spark plug. Adekoya as now. So more traditional lineup for Sheffield.
Well, Sheffield would like to take that record 2-3-1. While Plymouth City Patriots would like to get their first victory, but the question will be, as we're now under 8.5 to go here in the fourth quarter, who's going to come up with a victory? Pickens now counting the backcourt, trying to find dribble Adekoya. That's Rutino. Rutino now in and around, goes off the backboard, a straw finish.
It's not really his game. Rutino off the dribble, but great work from him.
Plymouth now trying to hold on to the lead. They can see 10 points coming from turnovers for the Plymouth City Patriots. Only 8 coming for the Sharks, but back-to-back buckets coming from Taylor Johnson.
And he's stepping up, isn't he? Again, just comes off the screen. Just a relentless desire to get to the paint.
Sheffield trying to battle back here. They got this down to an 8-point deficit as Adekoya penetrates. Bit of contact, too strong off the backboard. Great defense by the Patriots.
Johnson's the danger man here. I think for Plymouth, they've got to look to get him back involved again.
Faulkner trying to go all the way. Takes an out-of-control shot there. Can't get it. Sheffield again with another chance. But can they find something here on this offense? Well, Adekoya wants in the post. Trying to use the brute strength. Pump fakes. Foul is going to be called on the ground. That's going to be the second team foul against the Plymouth City Patriots here in the fourth quarter. Interesting. Adekoya only 2 points tonight. He's only taken 3 attempts from the field, but you know, he does have 4 assists and 4 rebounds, but at the moment he's struggling to deal with the size of this Plymouth front court.
Yeah, I mean, Adekoya's worth, his value is not in points scored. You know, he contributes in a lot of other ways. You know, the big question mark for me here for Sheffield, no Ramsey on the floor, so it's got to be Pipkins, maybe Nichols, who's just coming back in. These are the shots they want. How can they get those clean looks for Pipkins? They got one play where they use Pipkins off a pin down screen. Be interesting to see if they go to that, see if he can be the guy that inspires them back in.
Well, Pipkins taking the mid-range off the inbound play. That cuts it back down to 10 points. That's going to be the second team foul against the Sheffield Sharks here in the fourth quarter. This one is against Rutino. Unfortunately for Sheffield, that's going to be his 4th personal foul. And, you know, that's going to be tough for him because he's going to have to play very smart here against LVC Dusha. Trying to hesitate now, kicking this one out. 6 on the shot clock. Wiley taking on Adekoya, going all the way, and again, making the most of the mismatch.
That's just great play from Wiley. Low shot clock, he thought he would settle for the 3, and Sheffield were just going to need to rebound, but just attacked so hard off the dribble. You know, he replaces what Taylor Johnson has been able to do as well.
Another foul's been called off the ball, so it's going to be another baseline possession here to the Sheffield Sharks. Plymouth just comfortably sitting here with a 12-point cushion with 6:22 to go in the fourth quarter.
I've been impressed with the way they managed the start of this fourth period. So they haven't settled, they've used time, they've got great looks, almost every offense down.
Trying to find some inspiration here in their offense. Nichols going baseline, finds Adekoya, goes up and finishes inside the paint, and that's much better from the Sheffield Sharks.
Nichols and also Pipkins, excuse me, they've got to be the focal point for this offense. They've got to be the guys to make the play every time down for Sheffield.
Well, Faulkner going in, slicing the defense up like a California roll and just getting straight to the bucket. No help side whatsoever, Lloyd.
No, poor breakdown. Again, points at the rim. Not what you want to be giving up.
Well, Terrell Allen getting the mid-range, rattling his way in and out. Adekoya missing the putback, but gets a second one. Sheffield going in for second chances, something they need to do. But again, they come up with a loose ball. Nichols down the lane, bit of contact, goes up, no foul called. But again, another follow-up. So back-to-back second chance points coming for the Sheffield Sharks.
Plymouth looked a little leggy on those last couple of possessions. They get the ball over the half here. It's only 4 seconds. Oh, they're going to stop it. Well, good and bad because the shot clock won't reset. Plymouth have got to be smart here. You can see it's 19 on the clock, so they've only got 3 seconds to get it over the half. And if they're not aware, there'll be an 8-second violation here.
Well, as you mentioned, they have to get the ball over the line in 3 seconds, otherwise it will be an 8-second violation.
Atwood noticed, he told his team, you know, they've got to go forward here for Sheffield. The key thing is to get somebody to go backwards to collect the ball. Don't let them take it going forward.
Atwood inbound this one. Just avoided. Well, no, they turn it over and again. Plymouth choking under intense pressure. Sheffield with a chance.
Something to the rim if you're Sheffield, just like that.
Well, Nichols goes into the jumper, can't get it. The follow-up, no good.
Yeah.
Oh, no, a foul's been called. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a break as we will be back momentarily for this final 5 minutes.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, it's reachable. Your stop height is achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable.
Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out the clock. I fail what's gonna stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they've never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans, here to the Plymouth Pavilions as the Plymouth City Patriots have led by as many as 21, but at the moment the Sheffield Sharks have got it back down to an 8-point deficit. Dribble Adekoya will go to the free throw. This is interesting because he was fouled in the process of going for a follow-up, but you know that was only their 14th foul, coach.
Yeah, as you said in the timeout, we were talking about it. He tipped the ball as he was trying to get the rebound. So referee said he was, you know, and in the act of shooting, that's why he gets these 2 free throws. And now team fouls against Plymouth. So we talked about how important the free throw shooting was in that first half for Plymouth. Now it could be the key for Sheffield. They've got to keep attacking the paint. They've got to keep being aggressive on the glass as well.
Well, unable to make the second free throw, but now it's a 7-point deficit. Plymouth needs some composure. Well, Johnson again turning it over. Plymouth losing it yet again. Can they capitalize here? Now it's a 5-point deficit with just over 4:40 to go here in the fourth quarter.
The quick hands from Adekoya, but great work from him. But most importantly, stopping the drive from Taylor. Taylor Johnson not able to get to the paint on that occasion. That's what he was doing well for Plymouth a couple of minutes ago.
VC Dusha trying to find a bit of space here off the pick and roll. Finds Makai Noble. Makai Noble kicks this one out. Big three coming from Fulton. And again, a big response there for the Plymouth City Patriots as now it goes back up to an 8-point ball game.
Massive shot. Shot clock winding down. Just a second left. Faulkner stepping up.
Well, unable to get the little floaters in. And again, another poor finish from Kipper Nichols. But Sheffield get the ball back. We're under 4 minutes.
Nichols have got a mismatch. Wants it on the inside.
Kipper Nichols dominating inside the paint, getting the seal off against Taylor Johnson. That's the 11th offensive rebound in this game for the Sheffield Sharks. Something Plymouth did a better job of in the first half, Lloyd.
Well, the worry for Plymouth is right now, Sheffield just, you know, don't have any problem scoring. Points, 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 you know, consistently for them. As the referee stopped this one to get the wet spot cleaned up. But, you know, for Plymouth, it means that they've got to keep the scoreboard ticking over themselves. That's a dangerous thing to have against a Sheffield team that can be so good defensively.
Well, this is going to be a big moment here for the Plymouth City Patriots. 3:41 to go. For them, it's going to be Operation Hang On. As we mentioned, a 21-point lead they've had in this game. They haven't won so far in the season. We're trying to go for the penetration. Gets caught a double. Triple team almost nowhere to go, but a traveling violation and another turnover for Plymouth.
Again, that baseline rotation from Sheffield, so good. Allen, on this occasion, was the man who saw the threat, came across, walled up the opening drive, and let the help come from elsewhere.
Well, Plymouth don't want to commit any fouls here. They don't want to send Sheffield to the free throw line. RJ Pompakes. Again, he will go back to the charity stripe, drawing the contact against Mason Faulkner. And again, great to see the alumni of Barking Abbey doing good things on the floor here in the British Basketball League.
No, this is RJ's best game in his professional career so far, for sure. That's the type of play that he is so good at. Gets deep in the lane. You know, he's a big guy, big guard, able to finish through contact a lot of the time. He's really good with fakes and kind of step-throughs, control of his body. So you could see it there, gets the man in the air, but he's got to make these free throws. He's missed a couple now, last couple of times.
Again, free throws so imperative at the moment here for Sheffield Sharks. They don't want to look back on this game. I think the outcome could have been different had they been able to the free throws. Makes the second one. Back to a 5-point deficit, but Plymouth still with a minor cushion here against the Sheffield Sharks. Patriots going to a dribble handoff. Johnson getting the switch in, got it by Kipper Nichols. 6 seconds now, got to get something going. That's a foul, that's going to be on the ground. It's going to be the third team foul against Sheffield. So Sharks with only one more foul to give here in the fourth quarter.
It's not a good foul for Sheffield, though. And fouling has been an important part of this game. Put Plymouth on the line too much in the first half right there. They got it down to 3 seconds. You've got to live with Taylor Johnson making a tough one against defense there. Now you've got to play defense for another 14 seconds.
Well, Nichols being guarded, or guarding LVC Dusha, excuse me. Putting the hands in the passing lane, another turnover. Sheffield going all the way. And again, Kipper Nichols with a follow-up. And again, a bit of an acrobatic play in transition. Jalen Pipkins saved by Kipper Nichols.
Oh, what do I know? They play defense for another 14 seconds. Turns into a steal and an open court opportunity.
But Plymouth are becoming the victims of their own downfall here. I mean, they're just turning the ball over carelessly at the moment. Still leading by 3 points. LVC going down low, finding Johnson, and a foul is going to be called against Dribble Adekoya.
That's a great cut. Great cut away from the ball from Taylor Johnson. Just sneaks along that baseline, knowing his man had his head turned to the ball. Fourth foul against Adekoya. He didn't like it, but looked like a big swipe to me on our angle for it. But watch the baseline cut right there from Taylor Johnson. Good feed from LVC Dusha.
Well, big free throws coming up here for Taylor Johnson. But the pressure just getting to him, missing the first one. You know, if he makes this one, it's still a 2-possession game here for the Plymouth City Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing, though, from a 21-point lead, that's all gone. This is now an endgame situation. So who can execute when it matters? And Sheffield have that momentum of the offense just being so free for them in these last few moments.
Both teams, the mental fatigue settling in. Sheffield need 2 buckets. Plymouth just need more stops. Pipkins looking to isolate. Rock now. Kicks out. Adekoya doesn't take many 3-pointers. Again, good defense. And Plymouth just survived that offense. But again, they missed the layup in transition. Sheffield secure it. And again, Plymouth making many costly errors here in the final moments.
You go early, you've got to score if you're Plymouth. You've got the lead. Time is your friend.
Post up here for Kipper Nichols. Got it by Faulkner. Pump fakes, goes up. Nichols misses. Oh, he had the position, but was unable to finish it.
He did everything right, Sheffield, apart from make at the last moment. And Plymouth show him how it's done going the other way.
Well, big buckle there coming from Makai Noble. Oh, shit. Idlerock goes for a deep 3-pointer, and that cuts it back down to a 3-point ball game. Sheffield Sharks refusing to go away. And a timeout is going to be called here by Coach Paul James as he wants to talk it over with his players.
No, just a sub, not a timeout.
Oh,
1:11
right.
left, yeah. So play stops because it's inside the final 2 minutes, but 84-81.
Well, Plymouth now need a big possession. As we mentioned, leading by 3 points. A bucket here would be insurmountable. Johnson going all the way, drawing a blocking foul against Dribble Adekoya. And again, Lloyd, I got to ask you, that looked like good defense by Adekoya.
But a great drive from Johnson. Been relentless in getting into the paint in this second half, hasn't he? Really, you know, Plymouth's offense hasn't been good throughout a lot of this last 20 minutes, but Taylor Johnson, when needed, has stepped up for Plymouth. And that's foul number 5 against Adekoya. He's going to go out. So will they go to the small lineup now, Sheffield, or will they bring in Cook for this final 52 seconds, a guy who's barely played throughout this game because of foul trouble himself?
Well, there you saw, we're under a minute to go, a 3-point lead, and a bit of a deja vu moment because it was a 3-point lead when Taylor Johnson last went to the free throw line, but no problem making this one.
Plenty of time left, though, for both teams. It's the small lineup for Sheffield that they've gone with, so they've got some 3-point shooting. Look for Kipper to be in and around the basket.
But again, he misses another one. Sheffield need a bucket here, and then they need a stop down the other end. We have the time back up. We do apologize for the technical difficulties. Idlerock goes in, draws a foul. He'll go to the free throw line with 40.6 seconds left. Sheffield trailing by 4 points.
What a step-up performance from RJ Idlerock today. 16 points already, gets himself back to the line, but just impressed with his poise down the stretch, taking control for Sheffield. What an addition he's been when, you know, Ramsey, who's been so good for them, has been quiet today. RJ just stepping up in his absence, really.
Well, he has had his struggles tonight here from the charity stripe, but he needs to step up and make these two. Makes the first one.
That's what you love to see, isn't it? Young British player, back from college in the States, making an impact. All credit to Coach Lyons, having him out there on the floor, having the faith in him at this moment. No fouls to give on either side. Be interesting to see for Plymouth. Will they call a timeout? Will they let this one go? Where will they go offensively? Surely Taylor Johnson getting to the rim has got to be the option for them. Can Sheffield recognize that threat? How can they take it away?
Oh, Idlerock now 7-10 for the free throw line, cutting it down to a 2-point ball game. Plymouth a bucket here could seal the deal for them. Sheffield just need to be very disciplined, very principled here on defense. Johnson looking to isolate. Kicks out. Faulkner, corner. Got it! Big time three-pointer! That might be the curtain call for the Plymouth City Patriots. Pipkins goes up and just finishing under Terrell, excuse me. 3-point lead, but Johnson will be fouled. But what a big three-pointer by Mason Faulkner. That could be the three-pointer that gives Plymouth their first victory this season in the British Basketball League. Unbelievable tray ball for that man. Missed the opening game. But this three-pointer, that could very well be good night, Plymouth. That is for you.
Great work from Taylor Johnson. We said he's been the guy. He's been the man for Plymouth. Got to the paint once again, drew a second defender, but most importantly, didn't force anything. Found the open man. Faulkner knocks down the three. Now 1 of 2 may be enough here for Plymouth, but still a long time to go. Plenty of time for Sheffield.
Well, he's gone to the free throw line 3 times in the last minute where they've been up by 3 points, but he's missed 1 free throw on each attempt. Can he change that here with the second free throw after making the first one? Yeah, no problem for Taylor Johnson. But a timeout is going to be called here by coach and team of Lions, and no doubt they're going to try and advance the ball here.
Yeah, but plenty of time. 5 points. The most important thing is they get a quick score. So if you can score in 5 seconds, get up, foul, you know, you've still got another 10 seconds to go the full length of the court. Ideally, it's a 3, but I think at this moment in time, you take anything, whether it's a 3 or whether it's a 2. Obviously, if you can make a 3-pointer it puts more pressure on the free throws. If it's only a 2, 1 of 2 from the line for Plymouth probably seals them the game.
Well, Sheffield did get themselves back into this one due to the amount of turnovers from the Plymouth City Patriots, and also doing a good job of converting those turnovers into transition points. But credit to Plymouth. Plymouth, even though they have choked here in the last few minutes, have given themselves that opportunity, Lloyd, of leaving with their first victory.
Yeah, I think it's there for Plymouth right now. Obviously, with this lead, it being late on, they've got to try and seal this game out. That's something, for them to be able to execute in this last 10 seconds. For Sheffield, it's going to come down to this possession, really. If they can't get a quick score on this out-of-bounds, game will be done.
Well, that man there could go down as a cult hero, as many great players have played in this arena, the Plymouth Pavilions, and you can just see these fans, what it means to them to get their first victory. Well, I mean, it's not over yet, but...
Look for Allen here on the... he'll get a back screen and then come off a screen from Adekoya late on. See if they go to him. Here he comes.
Well, they got to get the ball inbound.
Yeah, back to Allen. He was denied.
Well, Nichols goes for a quick 3 points, way off the mark. Offensive board by RJ. Cutting it back down to a 3-point deficit, but Plymouth City Patriots, they will call timeout as they lead by 3 points with 7.1 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Again, Paul James might need to get a flashlight if he's going to talk his team over to try and draw up one last play here to get to the free throw line.
Sheffield got what they wanted. Quick score, it's the most important thing. They had a look from Nichols. He wasn't able to make it. Good work from Idlerock on the offensive glass. So now for Plymouth, most important thing is they've got to get the ball in bounds. Where are they going to go to get it in? For Sheffield, do they have enough time to try and get a trap to get the steal, or will they immediately foul? That's the questions for them. So if they try to get a steal, see if they can get it in the open floor, knowing they can get a 3. If they choose to foul immediately, the problem with that comes that all Plymouth really need to do is go 1 of 2 from the line. Go 1 of 2 from the free throw line, and it's a 2-possession game, especially without any timeouts. You can't advance the ball. It's going to take you 3 or 4 seconds to get it to the other end. So really, getting the ball in bounds for Plymouth has got to be focus number 1.
Well, Plymouth just need to get, but there's also the fear for Sheffield that, if you try to commit a foul, in an overzealous mode, you could end up potentially committing an unsportsmanlike. So you have to be very precise in what you do.
Oh, they take the ball as well. So they choose to advance it. Positives are you get it at this end of the floor. Negatives, perhaps not as much space to get free as when it's under your own basket. Deny Faulkner the ball. I think he's the guy that's going to be looking to get it first of all for Plymouth.
Switching out, getting into Taylor Johnson. A quick foul has been committed. So Johnson going back to the free throw line for 4 journeys so far here in the final 2 minutes for the Plymouth City Patriots.
And this could seal the game. Johnson went to the floor. The question was he fouled or did he just fall? I'm having a word.
Well, the officials just getting the next set of sweat wiped off the ball from the moisturizer technicians. It's an inside joke. I'll explain it. Johnson makes the first one. Plymouth fans, a huge sigh of relief.
Could be enough. Don't want to foul if you're Plymouth. Be smart, seal the game out now. And if he misses, don't commit a foul on someone shooting a 3.
Well, the man who's been one of the best players, if not the very best, in the NBL now gives his team a 5-point lead with 6 seconds left. And a team of Lions is going to call another timeout. Sheffield, they need a little bit of magic here.
Well, it's got to be a 3. It's got to be up and hopefully a steal on the inbounds if you're Sheffield. The question for them is where do you go for the 3? They've shot pretty well percentage-wise today, but they've only made 6 of 13 and not a prolific 3-point shooting team. Probably Pipkins is the man. He's 2 of 3. Ratinho 1 of 3 here today.
One positive that the Sheffield Sharks can take from this game is knowing that, after 2 back-to-back games here on this weekend, coming on a long journey, but being down by 22 points, but also finding a way to get themselves back in this one. That's got to be something they'll take as a positive.
Yeah, tough weekend for them. Obviously, playing with 2 games within 24 hours is never easy. But, I think they would have been looking at this weekend and highlighting 2 wins, especially, with the way they've played, with perhaps a little bit of momentum as well. Just that first half, that they can't be pleased with the performance in that first 20 minutes. I think, Coach Lyons, we've repeatedly talked about how good defensively they are. But to give up 45 points in the first half, to give up the free throws they did, to give up the offensive rebounds they did, that's where the frustration will be for the Sharks.
Well, as you mentioned, it's got to be another quick score here for the Sheffield Sharks. I mean, if they get a 3-pointer, that would be great. But then again, they have to either get a steal or make another quick foul. It's all got to be done within 6 seconds. Sheffield inbound the ball. We got to get the ball inbound. Nichols going baseline, nowhere to go. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like Plymouth are going to get their first victory. Congratulations to the Plymouth City Patriots as they win this one 92-87 against the Sheffield Sharks, excuse me. What an unbelievable finish. Well, again, a team that had to really dig deep, leading by as many as 21 points. But in the end, collectively, they found themselves with their first victory, Lloyd. What an unbelievable performance from the Plymouth City Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Sheffield being disappointed, but you've got to give credit to Plymouth. A lot of step-up performances for them. We talked about the energy that they played with, those areas that they needed to win, and they dominated today on the offensive glass, getting cheapies, getting easy points against one of the best teams in the British Basketball League on the defensive end. So all credit to Plymouth. Great bounce back for them after the disappointment of Friday.
Well, Coach, we've got to go into the player of the game because that man made a big 3-pointer. But, who is your player of the game in this wonderful matchup?
Well, I think you can pick multiple players, really, from Plymouth. Obviously, Taylor Johnson stepped up down the depth. He had 20 points. Atwood with 13, carried them in the first half. Wiley, a quiet 15, really, 6 of 6 from the field. But for me, it's got to be Mason Faulkner. The big 3 from him, but 24 points overall. And not only that, 7 of 12 from the field, 7 of 7 from the line. Great performance for him. He is the heartbeat of that Plymouth win today.
Well, let's take a look at the statistics from this game as Plymouth now can celebrate their first victory of the season. Well, collectively, the Plymouth City Patriots, a phenomenal job in this game. Even though they were out-rebounded by the Sheffield Sharks, 22 assists to 16, you got to think this is something they can definitely build some confidence on.
Yeah, much better performance in the second half for Sheffield, but, you give yourself that 21-point deficit in the first half. It's always going to be a tough ask. You put the opposition on the line 28 times and losing the rebounding battles, and it's a tough ask. You've got to shoot it really, really well from all over, and I don't think they did that today. Credit to Pipkins again, another big performance for him, and RJ Idlerock stepping up for the Sharks.
Well, now we're going to show you some other fixtures that will be happening, also the results from this week. The big game will be later at 6 p.m. between Cheshire Phoenix and the London Lions. For Basel fans currently watching, we'd like to say thank you for joining us here at the Plymouth Pavilions. We'll see you for the next game later this evening between Cheshire Phoenix and the London Lions. I'm Josh Bett, he's Lloyd Gardner, but for now, it's goodbye and see you later.